Hi, Brian. I wanted to give you some video feedback. This is where you get most of the details on how you're doing with your draft, and then you'll have an opportunity to implement any suggestions and edits and submit that for week 4. So taking a look around, you chose the cupcake template, good choice. You do want to increase contrast here so that when we're on that page, we can still see it. Let's see, you could make this a little bigger, but I know it's a kind of a deep header, so that's different. Interesting, I've never seen that done. That's kind of cool. You might try and go for the circle if you can get those into that shape, or have it cut out like this one, just to be consistent. You do want to add the disclaimer down here. That is with your assignment. And you just paste it in there. It's in the instructions. And there are links here for the client that you can link to. Good job with your carousel. Menu usually takes the longest, and you've done a great job here. Good job. That might be glassware, but it looks like you've avoided it in most places. Right here, just because it's a food truck, we want to be careful with that. Let's remove this strip. Okay, this wasn't required, but it's fine to have. You do need to have the locations though. So yeah, you can remove all of this and just put the information, change this to location and put the content for the location there. That was a requirement. You can cut this down, don't need all of it. Do make sure when we paste this in, sometimes it will default to the template. You want to check the reflow. So you have that space there. That would come up onto this line here. The memories would come up next to share. So you can check that out. You're able to also use stock footage if you'd like. If you want to find a couple there, if it's not copyright protected, you could use something like that, but you can also cut this down and edit that. Yeah, back here, good job. Let's have some hierarchy. Just make this a little larger, your headings. Let's see. Yeah. You could crop this by double clicking and going into your manage image manager or your media manager, and you can underneath the image there'll be an option to edit, and you could crop this or whatever you need to do to maybe not have this space, maybe bring that up. You could put this into 2 columns and put an image below it. But good job having your contact last. Probably want to increase the contrast here for readability. But other than that, you've done a terrific job. You've got almost everything you need there. You just have 1 or 2 tweaks for your revision. So kudos there. I know you were working out, trying to check out the mobile. You're not required to do that this month, but it's great to see you working and thinking that way. Here you do need to increase the contrast. It didn't show up so much before, but now it does. And this can go bigger. Anything you do here isn't going to affect your desktop. The reverse, though, is not true. So anything you do on your desktop will affect your mobile. You may have found that out. Yeah. So you could also create a new page, rename that to, online orders, and create a new page for your locations, however you want to do that. All right. Okay, but this was not required. You were not required to work on your mobile layout. You will do that in web design next year, but it wasn't essential right now. But kudos for trying that out. All right, so excellent job. You've done a great job for the past 2 weeks, and I'm happy to see you're digging in deeper. Good job, Brian.